up, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Brother Jonas, and the title of this video is The Christmas Star in the Bible. Many people are very excited about the Christmas star, or the aligning of Jupiter and Saturn, giving the appearance of a bright star. But what does this have to do with Christmas and with Christ? Remember, this hasn't happened in about 800 years. At least that's what I've heard. There are a number of things we have to look at first. So everything will line up and make sense because the media and Christianity will not give it to you straight. They want you to believe anything that flows through their microphones. First, what does this star or planetary alignment have to do with Christmas? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It has nothing to do with it. It wasn't even a planetary alignment at the time of Christ's birth. Look at the evidence modern times has given you. Jupiter and Saturn's alignment only lasts about one day. And then you could easily see that they are two separate planets. Now, this is common sense I'm laying out for you right here. Also, the people back then, especially kings, wise men, astrologers, men of knowledge, knew about the planets Jupiter and Saturn. The Romans and others worshiped them as gods. They saw them in the night sky with great clarity because there was no city lights. They only had torches. So, the planetary alignment of Jupiter and Saturn or any other planets have nothing to do with Christ's birth. Only the devil-worshiping ceremonies and pagan holidays. See my video, Christmas, the Satanic Lie of Christ's Birth. For those of you that think Christmas is okay, even if it's for the kids. And see also my video, The Virgin Birth or Immaculate Conception Proved. I proved it. I have proved the Immaculate Conception and the Virgin Birth. And it's easy and clear to see. Check those videos out. Okay, let's look at the scriptures. We're going to go to Matthew 2, verse 1. Now, when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. Did you notice something here? It says wise men, and it did not give a number. So, where do people get the number of 3 from? I've always heard the 3 wise men or the 3 kings, but where they get that number from? So see, there's a lie right there disproved. It did not give a number. It just said wise men. It could be 2. It could have been 20. We don't know. Verse 2, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. His star. These wise men said to Herod, they have seen the King of the Jews' star in the east, denoting ownership. Some would say, see, the star rose in the east at sunset and tracked across the sky to the west as the earth rotated. But was this the case? No. Listen to what they said. They said his star. How do they know it is Christ's star? Star also means prince or angel. And we know they use what we call UFOs or spaceships or chariots that fly, which can or could appear as a bright star at different altitudes. Look at this scripture. Numbers 24, verse 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. I will see him, but not now at this present time. I will behold him, but not near. There shall come a star or prince out of Jacob, and a scepter or ruler shall rise out of Israel. This is speaking of Christ. Christ is being referred to as a star or prince. Christ even refers to himself as the bright and morning star in Revelations 22, verse 16. Revelations 2, verse 28 says the Most High will give us the morning star, which is the Prince of Peace, Christ. Now let's go to Matthew 2, verse 3. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet. So it was already written by the prophet where Christ would be born. It was in Scripture where Christ would be born. Why didn't Herod send troops to Bethlehem? Because he didn't believe it. If he thought for 1 minute the king that was always spoken of was going to be born in Bethlehem, and around this time here when the wise men showed up, you think he would have sent a couple of legions there to take care of the matter. But he didn't, because he didn't believe it. Verse 7. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. So, evidently, Herod had not been seeing this star. And I find that highly unusual. Because when they go out at night, they would see the heavens, and a bright star would be noticed. An inquiry would have been made. You see, this star was not constantly seen. Herod inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. If the star was constantly lit bright in the sky, then it would have been seen in the daytime also, being so bright. It only appeared when it was ready to guide the wise men, and at a low enough altitude as not to be seen from a great distance. Verse 8. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star, which they saw in the east, went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. The star which they saw in the east went before them, or guided them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. Now you got to open your eyes here. The wise men knew that Christ would be born in Bethlehem because of what the prophets wrote. These wise men knew of our scriptures because of our previous captivities in other countries. Our people would read our scriptures and explain our scriptures to other kings and wise men of these other countries that we were captive of. So why did they need to follow the star? Remember, Herod told them to go to Bethlehem. So why would they need to follow this star? You may follow a star and stumble upon a city, right? Right. But this star or prince led them to the exact place where Christ was in Bethlehem. An irregular star or stars do not do that. So when they got to Bethlehem, this so-called star was sitting directly over the house. Not neighborhood, not community, not sector or county, but directly over the house where Christ was. So it had to be low enough in the sky to pinpoint that house. Verse 10, when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. As they left Jerusalem, they saw the star when they got to Bethlehem. They saw the star over the house where Christ was at. They rejoiced with exceeding great joy. They probably said, hey, there it is over that house. Christ is in that house. Verse 11. And when they were coming to the house, this is important, remember this now, when they will come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. Now that may be where they get the number 3. Somebody might have thought one wise man brought gold and another brought frankincense and another brought myrrh. But no, all of them, however many there were, 2, 5, 10, 20, however many there were, they all brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. In Luke chapter 2, there is no mention of the wise men at the manger at the end. So remember what I said a second ago about the house. So you got the house where Christ was when the wise men came. And then at the time of birth, you got the manger at the end. The night of Christ's birth, he was in the manger at the end, not in the house. Keep that in mind. There were shepherds watching their sheep in the field outside of Bethlehem. Let's go to Luke 2, verse 8. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. This also tells you that it was not December 25th. It would be too cold for them to be with their sheep in the field at night. And it would be too cold for Christ to be in a manger outside of the inn. That makes no sense. Verse 9. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid. These men, or these shepherds, were about to have an experience with an angel. So an angel came to those shepherds that was in the field. These are shepherds and not the wise men. Keep track. Stay on the same yellow bus with me. Verse 12. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling cloths, lying in a manger. This is how they would identify Christ when they found the location, the shepherds. The angel is telling them about Christ's birth and the importance of it and what to look for to find him. Verse 15. And it came to pass as the angels were gone away. Because if you go back and read between 12 and 15, you'll see that there were a whole host of angels that they eventually saw. But then at some point they left and went away. And it came to pass as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, Let us now go even unto Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord had made known unto us. So the shepherds went to Bethlehem to witness Christ's birth. They would later tell many about it. My question to you is why they didn't see the star and follow it. There's no mention of a star here for the shepherds to see on the night of Christ's birth. Tell me that. They didn't see the star because the star and the wise men did not arrive until days or weeks after Christ's birth. Verse 21. And when the 8 days were accomplished for the circumcising of the child, we're now 8 days past Christ's birth, his name was called Yahushai, which was so named of the angel before he was conceived in the womb. Now the angel had told Mary to name the child Yahushai way back when she was pregnant, before she went to Elizabeth's house. Verse 22. And when the days of her purification according to the law of Moses were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. The purification was 40 days for a boy, and it took place in Jerusalem, where they also brought him to present him to the Lord. So the wise men saw Christ sometime after his birth, but not the night of his birth, because when they saw him, he was in a house, as we read in Matthew 2, verse 11. But they saw him before Mary's 40 days of purification was complete, because Joseph, Mary, and Christ went to Jerusalem after her 40 days were complete to sacrifice according to the law for purification. This is done when a woman has a child. She has to sacrifice a few little animals after her 40 days for a boy or 80 days for a girl. After the purification, they were getting ready to go home to Nazareth, but an angel told them to go to Egypt. Now we go to Matthew 2, verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt. And be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. So we have taken care of the so-called Christmas star. We see there is no Christmas star. And we see what makes sense concerning the star that guided the wise men. It wasn't a real star or sun. It was an angel in a ship that we call a UFO. What about Christmas? Well, y'all know we're not supposed to have anything to do with Christmas and any other satanic pagan celebrations. But let's go to Jeremiah 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Now, this is to Israel. The Most High don't care if the Gentiles or heathens celebrate Christmas, dog find a bone day, or any other thing. That's on them. They can do whatever they want to. The Most High care about what you are supposed to do, Israel. Verse 2. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. This is a straightforward commandment. Do not learn the way of the heathen. Don't do what the heathen do. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. This is the very thing we're talking about right here. When they talk about the Christmas star, the aligning of planets. We're not concerned with the aligning of planets. Pagan worship, devil worshiping crap is. They get into that stuff. See, he's telling us not to learn the ways of the heathen. And the ways of the heathen were beaten into us during all of our captivities. But you have to resist these things now when you turn to the Most High. We can beat off generations of brainwashing, spiritual washing, whatever you want to call it, simply by turning to the Most High and stepping out of this world. Verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain. For the ways of these people or the ways of this world are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. The customs of the people or Gentiles or heathen are wicked. They cut a tree out of the forest, drag that sucker home, the work of the hands of the person that wants to celebrate. In most cases, they did it with an axe. Y'all seen them cut down trees on TV shows or movies, or buy them or use fake trees in a box and put them together for their satanic devil worshiping celebration. They may not know it, but that won't be an excuse on Judgment Day, that those things are devil worshiping tools that give Satan and his demons power. Also give these doggone heathen in high places power, because they help make you worship them. So Satan blessed them in his satanic way, somehow. Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They get that tree home and they deck it. I mean, they throw down popcorn strung around it and everything else they can find. With silver, with gold. They fasten it with nails and a hammer or use a man-made stand so that it won't move or fall down. This is Christmas, y'all. Now you need to watch my other videos to learn about the Yule log and all this other stuff. But we have learned that Christmas is not to be celebrated. It's satanic and pagan, and we learned there is no Christmas star. So don't be looking up at nighttime trying to find a Christmas star to sing a stupid nonsense carol. No such thing. There is no such thing. And the star that the wise men saw was an angel in his chariot guiding the wise men to the house where Christ was. Sometime after the night of his birth, the shepherds in the field went to Bethlehem and saw Christ on the night of his birth, not the wise men. The wise men saw him later. The lies embedded in the wicked traditions of man and spread thick by all forms of media, making you believe in falsehoods and fairy tales, that would get your soul cast into the lake of fire for all eternity. It is the millstone necklace gift around your neck that you receive every year you get involved with Christmas and the lies that come with it. So, all my brothers and sisters out there, have a merry, merry come to God day and receive the true gift of eternal life. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Peace, Israel. TikTok.